another stream. Today, when I've had a mouthful of my drink, a big mouthful of my drink, we have this weekend's antics to do. So, if you don't know how these work, basically, if I don't have a gig on the weekend and I get up to something interesting, so for example, if I don't just sit at home all weekend, if I go somewhere, if I do something, if I attend an event, then I do like a little this weekend's antics. I do like a little update of just what I've basically got up to over the weekend, if it's been a bit more sort of exciting than just sitting at home and doing nothing. So this weekend has actually been quite unexpected, but it's been a fun weekend. So I came into the weekend with not really any plans, nothing that I really was doing in particular, and just had no gigs. So I kind of thought, what do I actually do this weekend? And all I really knew is that I wanted to do something, and I didn't want to just kind of sit at home and kind of be twiddling my thumbs and thinking, what do I do this weekend? Because I'm one of these people that I do a lot of things. I'm always doing something. So throughout the week, I'm always busy with work. So I'm always traveling somewhere for work, jumping on a bus, going somewhere, going to a music session, doing something. I'm very much a very proactive person when it comes to that. And then when it comes to the weekend, 9 times out of 10, I usually have a booking or something. So I'm normally doing something and going somewhere. And, I should, in all hindsight, sometimes, like do nothing just because, like, it's sometimes good just to have a little bit of a rest and have a little bit of a recharge. But I don't like doing that, so the thought of just having a full weekend to myself with like nothing planned and just kind of sitting there with nothing to do. Although yes, I could have a mix at home, I could jump on FL Studio, but even though I'm quite busy throughout the week, I still manage to somehow do that. Like I'll still manage to go on my decks for a little bit. I'll still manage to jump on FL Studio and work on a tune. And sometimes, if you do all that too much, you burn yourself out and you get bored of it. And I've done that before, where I've like kind of stayed at home for ages and not really had to go anywhere or had anything to do. So I've jumped on the decks and I've jumped on FL Studio, and I've done it for that long, sort of, a good few hours throughout the day. And then like after a couple of days of not going anywhere and just kind of going on FL Studio and going on the decks, it gets a little bit boring and you kind of burn yourself out. So not going on them as much, you kind of feel more sort of like you want to go on them when you go on them, if that makes sense. So Friday, I go to work now on a Friday, so I do like a half day on a Friday. My Thursdays got split to doing a half day and then doing a half day on the Friday. So I do like half of the Thursday and then half of the Friday, just because there was we were doing some sessions on a Friday, and it kind of worked out better for me because I go out for lunch every Thursday with the staff here. So we go to like Weatherspoons and we go and have a meal every Thursday. It's just like something that we do. Big shout out to Charlie. So with me not being in work, it made it a little bit more sort of like, yeah, we could do this. We could do this. No, I don't live in Scotland. No. So Friday I go to work now from about 10 in the morning till around 2 in the afternoon. And yeah, so I went to work, and then I came out of work, and when I got back home, my good friend the layman had pulled up on his motorbike, and he was just passing by. He was on a ride. He's come to see one of our other friends that live in here, and they just popped and said hello. And I came back from work, and we sat outside for a little bit, and then he kind of said, like, what you're gonna do for your food today. and I was kind of like, I'm probably just gonna cook something nice at home because I've got a few bits in, and then he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go and drop my bike off, I'll come and do a bit of shopping, um, and I'll come to yours, and we'll have some food at we'll have some food at yours. So I had friends over on the Friday night, which was yeah. Thank you, Charlie. So yes, I had friends round on Friday, and we cooked food, and we just had a little bit of an enjoyable night. I went on we mainly went through vinyl records. That was kind of the big thing. So, see you later, Charlie. Thanks for stopping in. So, some of you may or may not know, I've been debating whether to get rid of my vinyl collection, and I've actually started to do so just by getting rid of a few records that I don't usually really play much, and just stuff that I can get a little bit of money for that I'm just not really going to play. So we started going through some and just having a little listen to some of the records I don't recognise, and that kind of stuff. Big shout to people coming in. So we went through records, and he picked some records out that he would like. Yeah, I'll have these records off you. And we just went through some, and some we just really weren't that keen on. A lot of like really sort of like classic, sort of chilled out house music that just. I like my house, don't get me wrong, but some of it was just on a really too much of a chilled out vibe. Um, I don't even really know what type of house you would call it. Wasn't really too, it was just something that you would kind of picture it kind of being on like in the background of like a real kind of like just you'd have it on quietly in like a kind of like a restauranty kind of. It had a really like chilled out like IB for chill out groove to it. Not really completely my cup of tea. So we're just having a little bit of a sort of play through them. How are you? I'm all good. Hope you're well yourself. Hope everything is all good your end. So we did that, and then I had a little bit of a mix on the decks, and then we attempted to have a look at my PlayStation, which has started to play up, and essentially like the discs are getting stuck and they're not ejecting properly. There's currently a disc stuck in there at the moment, and we didn't just fully have the right tools to do so. So we left it. And then, probably quite late at night, probably about 10:30, the layman got a book in to do photographs at an event called FanFest, and Ultrabeat was headlining. There was Hannah Taylor, and there was Kevin and Perry live on stage. So look, I'm not doing anything this weekend, so I'll, if that's all right, I'll have a ride with you. So Saturday it was just this really amazing day. We went to the Farm Fest, which was really good to see people out enjoying the music and the weather, and also enjoying the football. So the football match was on, and yeah, that was a little bit of a tough one. So you got people watching football, and then you've got like people DJing, and people know, I don't really understand. Like, I do understand why, but I don't at the same time. People was more interested in watching football. Now I understand, that it was quite a big thing. It was there's some big matches going on and stuff, but just football is not really my thing. And I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, because a couple of weeks ago I actually I didn't watch a football match. That is coming that is saying it a bit wrong. But where I think we did a weekend antics, and I'd gone to Sheffield for like a little bit of a meeting for an event that I DJ at, and I had a little bit of a wait for my train. So I went, a couple of friends that were also at the meeting, I went round Sheffield with them, and we went to this like sort of big place where it was just a big outdoor place, and you know, yeah, we there was this big screen with a football match on, And one of my friends actually plays football herself, like women's football. And I think, Dad, I think, he likes his football enough that that he'll watch the matches and stuff. And I'm not a big football fan at all, so I went along with it. Um, so so I was kind of like, well, I'll just go along with it, and I'll just make the most of being out in the nice weather and having a cold drink and that kind of thing. But it wasn't my cup of tea. But I don't want to go shooting myself in the foot, like, because people will be like, oh, where you were at a football match the other week, like watching a football match the other week. And like, although I kind of was, like, I kind of wasn't really taking too much notice of the screen. But I'm not really a football fan. I don't like it. I'm more into like motorbike racing. So um, I'm not in work tomorrow. I enjoy what I do. I work on men's fashion. Men's fashion I do mainly men's shoes and socks. Hey, do you know what? And I say this a lot because I use my own personal experiences. But if you do a job and you enjoy the job that you do, then that is, you're onto a winner, because the world, like we are programmed, and we are told that part of life, we have to get up as adults, and we have to go do a job, to earn money, to pay bills. And sometimes that can like really play on people's mental health, and people really, they make it so we can't survive without money. So what we have to do is we have to sometimes just take a job for the sake of taking a job, because the money's good. So, for example, there's people that work like, 12-hour night shifts 4 days a week, right? And, they don't want to work that. They don't want to go to that factory every day and do the same thing every single night. But because they have no other alternative, like, they need it to pay the bills, they have to do it. But I'm a big believer in life that you can achieve your dreams, and you can do the things that you want to do in life. And I do a job in music. I'm a youth music facilitator, so I work within the youth. So I work in youth centres, I work on youth projects, I work in like community centres, I work for like charity organisations. And I offer, like I offer music sessions and the chance for people to jam music and record music, and I do loads of great stuff. And it's like, for me, it's like a dream job. And I'm happy, and I love the job, and I'm getting up every day, and I'm like, do you know what? Like, I want to go to work today because I enjoy the job that I'm doing. Whereas some people, they don't want to get up and go to work, but they have to get up and go to work. Whereas, in sense, I need to go because it obviously it pays my bills, but I enjoy it, and I don't just see it as like I have to do it. I see it as I'm doing something I love. I'm doing something I enjoy, and I put myself through pain and hell before I got this job. Like I really did not just want to take a job for the sake of taking a job, because I wanted the right job to come around, and I wanted to do the right thing and the one thing that I enjoy. So I was unemployed for quite a lot of years after our family business went sort of went bust essentially and closed down. And I tried a few different trial jobs. I worked on a tip yard. I worked at a potato factory. Also in previous roles, I've done like factory work, so like bird seed factories and recycling plants and stuff like that. But the music jobs, they always felt right. So thought if you could help me with my fashion. I don't think I could help you, unfortunately. You have fun. I can't because it's late. And as I said, oh well, that's a shame, but you'll get there. But so anyway, back onto the topic of Saturday. So we went to this fan fest, and like I say, there was football and DJing on. People were more attracted to the football, unfortunately, which I think it was a little bit of a controversial one, because I think like if they hadn't have put the football on, people wouldn't have come because people like they want to see the football game. So I think the fact that they put football on, it got more people through the door like to their event, but more people was watching the football than they was watching the DJs and stuff like that. And it was only like kids who really didn't want to sit through a football match because it was like a family festival. So it was almost like like people that didn't want to watch the football would be sat there, would be stood there listening to the music, and there was quite a few people sat outside. There was some inflatable slides, there was waltzer ride, there was like some food huts, so they were selling food. There was like, a licensed bar and stuff. So it was a good day, it was a good vibe, and there was some really good DJs that played really good. And then the same promoter, he had an event at the Doncaster warehouse on the evening with David Rust headlining. So we went and got some food. We went to Mackey's first, and then we just essentially went over to the warehouse for a little bit, and it caught some of the acts at the warehouse. And what can I say about the warehouse other than the warehouse is just the warehouse. Like, you can't really say no more. Like, the warehouse is just one of the best. I think, if anything, I think for me, like, it is the best nightclub. Hands down, it is the best nightclub in I think in the UK. I think for me, and don't get me wrong, I've not been in every single nightclub in the UK, but the warehouse itself, it just brings a vibe. There's just a vibe, and you go into that nightclub and you feel like you're at home, and you just get a feeling, and it's a really hard feeling to describe. And I know I'm not the only person who feels it, because a lot of people try to describe the same thing about this venue, but there is just no venue like this venue, and this venue is just magnificent. It's just the sound system in there is just amazing. The DJs in there are just amazing. The vibe in there is just amazing. The door staff are amazing. The bar staff are amazing. The owners of the actual venue itself, they are amazing. The promoters that put events on here are amazing. There's a good few like regulars that put their events on at this venue, and people come to this venue because of them events, and they come because of the vibe. And a lot of young people, believe it or not, go to this venue as well. It's like a really, it's like a classic venue that has like really still stood to the test of time. And I'd say like, sometimes even now, like that place is probably just as busy as it was years ago. And it's just really good to see that young people go to that venue, and it's really good to see that, like, that the venue just still does so well all these years later. And it just shows that there still is a niche for raving. Raving is still a big part of people's lives, and people still, really like going out raving. People enjoy it. The only thing is like times have changed. Music's changed. The vibe has changed, and things aren't like they used to be. And unfortunately, the old school, whatever people call the old school, unfortunately, it's dying out. It's dying out to what it was. It's not what it was. So for example, so if you take like a really big classic dance tune, like, I don't know, like say Robin S. Show Me Love, like that blew up on a scale that was absolutely massive. And that vocal, like the newer people, they still know that today. They still know it. They still love it. And because it's like such a like popular track, there's been so many versions of it over the years. Steve Angelo, he did kind of like a newer version of that track in like 2007, and Robin S. re-sang the vocals, and it's been remixed so many times that the vocal itself is just well known and people know it. However, you take something like an underground rave breaks track that might have been quite big sort of in the 90s, but it never blew up on like a really big commercial level to the point where you would hear it on the radio all the time and it'd be on all the top 90s CDs. And you'd maybe hear it in a rave, or you'd hear it in, I don't know, like, say, I don't know, like Slipmat set years ago. Like the newer generation, they're not interested in that, unfortunately. And I know the old school people, that I know they hate it. I know they don't like all this modern vocally bounce, and they don't like all these commercial cheesy tunes, and DJs that do like 2-minute mixes instead of the long 5-minute beat matching on a vinyl record kind of thing. I know a lot of the newer school that they're not sort of interested in that, but unfortunately that is just like the way that today has gone. And unfortunately, like putting old school raves on and booking people that were kind of like they did well in the 90s, and they maybe did all right sort of in the early noughties, but then sort of in the newer time they've kind of stayed sort of at the genre and at the level that they was at like back then, because that genre is kind of like not like it used to be. They've not really rose and changed, so like a few of the heads who used to go out in the 90s might come back out because it's someone they listened to back in the day, but they don't fill up. Like you put a big bounce event on and you've got Andy Whitby headlining, like that place is full and people are singing and people are dancing, and a lot of people say it's too cheesy and they don't like him, and for whatever reason. But unfortunately, compared to like people from back in the day, they're not, the people back in the day are not filling the venues, they're not doing 5 or 6 bookings in one night. And a lot of them I know are a lot older now, and they're too tired to go and do like 6 bookings in a night. But the thing what I'm trying to say is they're not standing the test of time. Whereas somebody like Robin S comes live to sing Show Me Love, it's still going to attract people because Show Me Love did something back then that was on a scale that kind of went beyond just an underground rave anthem, if that makes sense. So, that's just the way it is. But the Warehouse just seems to absolutely smash it, and it kind of caters for the fact that this kind of happens, and people kind of, really enjoy the vibe of what goes on in the Warehouse, and they play all the new bounce and the new hardcore and the new trance and the new techno, and they kind of they blow the roof off with it all, and it's really good to see. The Warehouse just does something for me that no other venue does, and I want to big up like the security and the staff for kind of treating me like family, because I've only ever really gone there with the layman. Like if he's been photographing, I've come along with him, and just the respect that I get is just really nice to see. And I just love that place. It's one of my favourite places. The bar staff are just absolutely fantastic. The door staff, the owners, the promoters, who have just treated me with so much kindness and respect, has just been really nice to see. The love goes straight back to them. I love that venue. It is, I played there once. I did like a private birthday party in there. I really would like to play an event there. Like I honestly really would, but we'll see what happens. Like I'm hoping one day that that I will get sort of an opportunity to play there, whether it be outdoors or indoors. Like I really just cannot wait to play at that venue. It's just an amazing venue. So one day I will be gracing them decks. I don't know who for or when, but I will be one day, and I will be very looking forward to it. Like I can't wait for it to happen. It's a really good venue. So whether I win a competition to play there or whether they're just looking for new DJs and I just happen to submit a mix, or I get asked by anybody. Like it'll just be an amazing experience and an amazing feeling. So I can't wait for it to happen, and I also can't wait just to go back raving there again. I just love being there. So we went there for a couple of hours. After the sort of like outdoor festival during the day, and then we came home, and I think by about 3 in the morning, I think I'd got tucked into bed. So we got back home. I got dropped off, but I didn't like get out the car instantly, and we just sort of chilled on our phones for a little bit because we got back a lot earlier to what we normally would. Like if Lehman's normally photographing the nighttime event, sometimes we're getting in at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm not getting to bed sometimes till like 6 a.m. So this time we'd got back at like I think we'd got back at like something going up for 2 o'clock or something, which is a little bit earlier to what we'd normally get back sometimes. So we just had a little chill and then straight to bed. And then this morning I woke up with the worst headache ever. It was a really bad headache, and I felt like I hadn't slept, but I had. And I had this like really bad headache, and I just couldn't be asked to move. And then I got really hungry, so I got myself up to have some breakfast, and I had some breakfast and a coffee, and I thought, in all fairness, that might sort me out, and that might make me feel a little bit better. But in all fairness, it actually didn't. So I took a couple of paracetamols, and then my friend at the Lehman, he came out back for me, came on his motorbike, and we went for a little burn, and the headache went. The headache just it just wore off, and now we're here. So I came back home after we'd been on the bike ride. We'd got a bit of food, and then we'd converted back to his car, and we sat in the car and just spoke about a few things. And then I came in, did a set on your radio, and then it lost internet connection, so I finished the set and thought I'd come and do this weekend's antics. So really good weekend, really enjoyable. Next weekend there is again another weekend of no bookings, and I believe that I won't be doing anything worth doing a weekend antics. It's my a week tomorrow is my dad's birthday, and I will be going over to my grandparents to probably like just see him and say happy birthday. It's a big one. It's his big 50th. 50 years old. Like I can't believe he's actually going to be 50. Like that is crazy. I still remember him young and going to tall trees and clubbing and stuff like that. And now he's just an old man working all the time. Sorry, Dad, for calling you an old man. Middle-aged man, let's say. But more, I'd never think of him being 50. Like that is crazy. But saying that, like am I 26 now? Yeah, I'm 26. I think 26. 26. Am I? Yeah, because I think I'm 27 this year. I can't even remember my own age. Do you know what? I knew my age for years, and then it's only over the past couple of years I thought, because I think I'm 26. But that is crazy that this year I'll be 27. Like that is mad. Yeah, that is mental. So we're 24, so I'll be 27. Yeah, 25 I'll be 28. And then 26 I'll be 29. Yeah, and then 27 I'll be 30, because 2007 I was 10. So that is mad. So yeah, 2017 I was 20 or something like that, which is crazy. So that's mad. It's mad where the time's gone. So I look like I wear SpongeBob socks. Well, I really don't. I just wear any socks really. Red socks, blue socks, green socks, Isle of Man TT socks. that I bought over in the Isle of Man itself, going there on holiday. I'm currently just wearing some white socks. So there we go. But yeah, so next weekend celebrating my dad's birthday. So I don't think I'll be doing anything over interesting, and I don't think I'll actually be there on his actual birthday because his birthday's on the Monday. And I have work on the Monday evening and stuff like that. But we'll see nearer the time. Do I have a girlfriend? I don't at the moment. I don't at the moment. So there's it's a little bit complicated. Like there's kind of something going on, but it's like it's just a little bit complicated at the moment. Like really complicated. I ever had a girlfriend? Yeah, I have. I had one. Like obviously, this isn't the only one. But I had one years ago, and this was like when you have one in school kind of thing. That didn't really last long. In all honesty, it was more like people like at school were like nagging for us like to go out, get together, go out, go out. I didn't really want to, if I'm honest, at the time. People sort of pushed it, so I was like, all right then, will you be my girlfriend kind of thing. Um, and then a couple of years ago, well, I say a couple of years ago, probably about maybe 6 years ago or something now. I was kind of seeing one, and we had a couple of like occasions, if you like, and then I quickly realised that she was just using me for money. So that kind of went down the drain all very quickly. And since then, I've sort of I've been single more or less since then. But sort of more recently, there's been something going on, but nothing to really report on. And I'm trying to kind of sort my own life out really, rather than worry about like who the next girlfriend's gonna be. Because I'm one of these people like I don't wanna be able to like give a girl nothing, if that makes sense. Like I'd hate to be just like some guy who like still lived at his parents' house and was unemployed and like whereas now like I live in my own flat. I've got a job that I enjoy, so I've got a little bit more that I could offer, but I'm kind of like trying to kind of build my life and my career at the moment. And I don't mean my DJ career, although like I do want to build that as well. I mean, like my actual job as like a youth music facilitator and stuff like that. And like I've only just moved into this place, so I've got a lot of and this is like a supported living place that's supposed to help me sort of like for the future of life, like when I'd eventually go into like my own house or something. So I'm trying to kind of like build myself up, but there's somebody that I'm talking to at the moment, so we'll just kind of see how it goes. So yeah. So this weekend was good. So next weekend will more than likely be nothing really to report on. Like I say, I'll be just going to um, see my dad for his birthday and stuff. I would imagine because I've got no bookings, and I know they wanted me to go, so like I can't not go. I don't, they've been asking me like I think and this is nothing against my dad. Like I'm just terrible at remembering birthdays. Like because I have so much to remember, like because I DJ a lot, I've always got dates to remember, and then like because of like the youth work and things I do, that job has always got like things where I've got to remember dates and doing things on different days, and that it's like really hard. And then when I do like get some time off, like Layman will be like, do you want to come to an event or something with me? And me being me, I'll just think, yeah, I've got a weekend off, and then I'll like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then oh, it's someone's birthday. So the fact that they've kind of reminded me as such, and sort of told me like, we'd like you to come for it. Like, yeah, it's is implanted in my mind, so I know, you know, that I'll go. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna get him, and obviously I'm gonna talk about that on here, and you know, in case he watched it. But like, you know, because I'll be honest, like I'm really bad at getting presents as well. Like, I am like super bad at like getting presents, because the truth is, like, I don't spend a lot of time with my parents, like my dad or my mum, and I don't even spend a lot of time with my grandparents. So it's really hard to like really know like what they'd want. So like, I know my dad's into motorbikes. Obviously, I can't afford to buy him a motorbike. I want a motorbike myself. I could get him something motorbike related, but I always relate back to the, like, you know, get him a mug, you know, get him a bar of chocolate, and you know, sometimes, you know, the same for my mum, and then it goes round in the circle, like, well, you know, how many years have I, like, you know, how many times have I got them a mug before, or you know, how many times have you done so and so, and I think, like, is there something different I could do? You know, could I get something a little bit different? And that's kind of what I want to do. And then because I get so busy at work, like I never get time to go into town, and then like when it becomes a day off, like I think, oh, I want to go on the decks and stuff like that, and you know, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, I should have gone into town and I should have done that, like, you know, like I was supposed to do something this past week gone, and I didn't do it. You know, I was supposed to go into town and do something, and I didn't do it, with some photographs, and I was just like, oh, do you know what? Like, it just like, no, I haven't done it. Like, I didn't get time. Um, so just absolutely crazy. So we'll see what it brings, what happens. But like I say, there probably won't be any reason to do a like weekend antics unless something like really mind blowing happened. Then I'd probably like do a weekend antics, and then I think the following weekend, I think again it's another weekend of no bookings. But whether I'll be going somewhere, like, I haven't got a clue. And then the weekend after that, I'll be back gigging again. We've got two gigs, and then we go into August, and August will bring bounce elements, so that's going to be good. And then we're nearly going to Scotland and things again, so I'm looking forward to going back to Scotland. And then we've got chain reaction, we've got the experience, and it's really mad because some of these bookings came in ages ago. Especially like the experience, that one dropped quite a while ago, and even before it dropped, like, I knew about that booking, and it's like now they're finally getting to a point where you can say, like, you know, they're actually not that far away. Like, you know, like the bounce out elements is like actually less than a month away, like, which is crazy. It's like about it's about, I think it was 3 weeks ago yesterday until till it actually takes place, which is like crazy, you know, because next Sunday is the 14th. The following Sunday is the 21st, and then the following Sunday after that is something like the 28th or something like that. So, and then I think like that following weekend, I think the Friday will more than likely be the bounce. You know, it'll be the bounce elements. So that is quite crazy. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely, you know, absolutely buzzed for it, and you know, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So that'll be a really good booking. So I'll update you and let you know, like, when it gets nearer the time, and remind you of the bookings. Like, if anybody does obviously want to, you know, come to that booking, you know, and see me in action, I'm just on the microphone for that one, and I'll do it for all the others as well. You know, we've got Skate Fest, we've got Ultimate Bounds, you know, we've got Chain Reaction, we've got the Experience, we've got Scotland. You know, we've got loads of different things happening, so it'll be amazing. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, and we'll see you soon.